Hi, everybody. Welcome to DomainSherpa. And as usual, thank you for tuning into the podcast with the best domain name and digital asset content in the world. Today's episode is a Sherpa Short, which is typically co-hosted by myself, Chris Zeiker, and Matthew Zeiker, where we pick one or two topics and we dig in for a bit. Today, we change it up some, and Drew joins me to talk about the Escrow.com quarterly report for Q3. And we specifically talk about .ai domains, hyphen domains, numeric domains. We also talk a bit about gratitude and appreciation with the Thanksgiving holiday approaching, and we mentioned the ICA meeting coming up in Vegas in January. All that and more on today's Sherpa Short. And remember, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you can also watch the video version at DomainSherpa.com and on our YouTube channel at ds.tv. You can also check us out on Apple and Spotify and other podcast platforms as well. And as usual, big shout out to Dan.com, the #1 place in the world to buy and sell your domains with a special platform made for domain investors. With that, it is now time to get into this episode, this Sherpa Short, here on DomainSherpa, where all roads lead to domains. What's up, Sherpa Network? Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonathan Tenenbaum, a.k.a. JT, a.k.a. Jay On, a.k.a. Sherpa Winfrey, a.k.a. John Burgundy, and I'm the host and producer of DomainSherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Today's show is a Sherpa Short. As you know, we've been doing these kind of abbreviated episodes featuring Chris Zeiker and Matthew Zeiker, focusing on the domain space through the end-user lens or picking out a few hot domain name topics to dig into. And today we've got actually a pretty unique, interesting layout, because we've got my boy, the one and the only, over to my right. I got my boy Andrew Rosner, a.k.a. Morpheus, a.k.a. the Dirk Diggler, Digital Assets, a.k.a. Bob Lee Swagger, the Sniper, a.k.a. Drew. Drew got what I need. AKA Never Gonna Give Drew Up, AKA Graybeard, the Domain Pirate, Cancel Adams in the flesh. It's actually the first time, dude, that this is just me and you doing the show. You know, like I think
Is that no? Are you sure?
I think so. Which is, usually
First
we have
time
other
ever?
people, which is a good buffer usually to have other people. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But there's a lot of good
You're the
stuff.
only now you're the only cannon fodder.
I'm gonna be dodging and ducking and diving. Hey, if you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. But shout out to dodgeball, by the way. But yeah, man. Well, today's show we were actually also gonna have Chris on here, but Chris is under the weather, unfortunately. So it's just me and you. But a lot of cool stuff to talk about, and that's really why we wanted to do this show today. So there's some interesting topics. First of all, I guess happy Thanksgiving to all the folks out there. I think this is actually going to be the week prior, and I do think we'll actually have a show that we're going to drop with a special guest next week, a domain name OG, who y'all know.
Yeah, maybe we should drop that on Wednesday since we're going to film it on Monday. We'd drop that Wednesday. We could drop this one week before Thanksgiving, but we'll say Thanksgiving to everybody anyways.
I know. I was going to say,
because you can't give enough thanks.
That's true. That's true. I'm thankful to you. I'm thankful for our audience. I'm thankful, our friends and family. And, it's not always easy, but, it's mostly good. And I mean that with a lot of crazy stuff going on out there in the world. And, a lot of bad, but a lot of good too, and there's a lot to be thankful for. So to everybody out there listening, watching, just want to say thank you.
Yeah. I share those sentiments. I am extremely grateful to our audience. In particular, for some reason, in the last month, we've gotten just a whole bunch of people reaching out and just saying, really appreciate what you do, really appreciate, all that you share. And it doesn't go underappreciated. I'll tell you that, because this is a not always easy task to stick with for many years now. And it gets harder at times, but it's fun and we like doing it. And as we say, we're trying to grow the pie. So we are very grateful to the audience. We are very grateful to all of our customers at MediaOptions. Literally, without you, there would be no us. And I am grateful to domain names. I'm grateful to domain names and to the industry at large, and to the good work the ICA does for the most part. And I'm grateful. Yeah, grateful for you, J2. Grateful for you, man.
Oh man, see somebody, Billy, give me some kind of like some flowers, do something. Let's build this up, fireworks, something, make it pop.
I am not, however, grateful for my dog barking outside my office. I don't want to go let her in
Yeah, no,
because
go do
otherwise she
that. It's
won't
all good.
stop.
But hey, but the point you made, the ICA, obviously a huge shout out to them. If anybody has not yet bought or signed up or registered, I guess would be the proper term for your tickets for the ICA Meetup in January in Las Vegas, please go get that done. That's going to be a lot of fun. And that's going to be a great event. And if you're not a member of the ICA already, then you need to start there and go get yourself membered, get yourself learned.
Get your membership on.
Get your membership on. I mean, they're doing some really, really great things for the space. And, we as domain investors don't have a ton of advocates out there that really are kind of fighting for us for the right reasons and the right battles. And, those guys are as good as it gets, especially big shout out to Cam, Nat, and Zach. So, yeah, so that's what's up. So, all right, well, let's do this. Like I said, we got a couple of topics we want to get into. Like we said, a little Thanksgiving love. We do a dedicated show. We've obviously did our Halloween show where we were all in costume. We've got our Christmas or holiday spectacular that we'll do in December with some ugly Christmas sweaters and some of that good stuff with a bunch of guests. So you can expect to see that coming again. And, I think the other thing too, real quick on the piece about Sherpa, it's a labor of love at times, but we've got some really cool things coming up. I mean, I'm excited to see what we've got, and how some of the stuff we're going to be rolling out in 24. And yeah, it seems like lately people are really appreciative of the of the work, the information, the education, the entertainment, and that does help. Even that just by itself, like, just helps keep it moving, because it's we feel that love, and that's motivating. So. Yeah, so all good stuff. All right, let's talk some domain stuff. Let's talk some domain biz. So I believe today, the escrow.com Q3, the quarterly report came out, which if y'all haven't seen that, you can go to, Elliot blogged about it. I think Andrew blogged about it. So you can go find a copy. It's a link that you can download it.
Shout out to domainnamewire.com. That's where I'm reading the stats from. I've got the full report opened up, but Andrew's got some of these, highlights here.
Well, Elliot's got highlights too at domaininvesting.com. Maybe that's
shout out Elliot too. I'm grateful to everybody. We're grateful for everybody.
Oh, hey, what's going on, man?
Shout out everybody.
This is a vibe today. It's a vibe today here on DomainSherpa. Everybody, just enjoy it while you can. We got Happy Drew. Which is it's like the rarest of all the Pokemon.
That's a rare breed.
That's a
catch it while you animal.
Got to catch them all. But you can. I think it's a lot of good information. I appreciate Escrow. Another shout out escrow.com because the number one.
Right, enough gratitude and love though.
I'm just saying. I'm just setting the table though. So for folks who haven't seen it, get on to domaininvesting.com. Go on to domainnamewire.com. You can link from there. Download the report, and there's some good information. So let's go through it and talk about some of the highlights. And so, what jumps out to you as kind of the first thing you see that you think is interesting?
Well, couple things that came to my mind. So first and foremost, I apologize. I'm trying to make an espresso here. First and foremost was the fact that, again, numbers don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. And the numbers say that, once again, I was right. And .ai is another flash in the pan. And the peak was yesteryear, and the numbers are going down. And I think that's to be expected for all the reasons that we discussed in the last show. And that's not to say that .ai domain names don't have a home, that they're not valuable. They are, and they will continue to sell. But there's a mania phase, right? And that phase peaks, and then sometimes it just crashes like a 6number.com. And sometimes it's just a gradual, leveling. And that's likely what we're going to see because AI is here to stay. It's not a trend. But again, I say it a million times already, but nobody listens, including JT. There is only two scenarios. Okay, you have the phase right now where everybody's rushing into the AI, launching an AI product, an AI business, blah blah blah. They're catching some investment. There's like 99.8% of those companies that will never make a dollar of profit, and because all of these things are going to be commoditized and they're going to become a feature of the larger LLMs. We're already seeing this just in the early stages of the two or three largest models. And then there's going to be really truly dedicated companies that are in AI products, services, whatever. And for them, maybe it makes sense in the same way it makes sense, to use any other extension to reach a certain level, and then again you want to upgrade. And I've seen it already. I've seen multiple times. We just had another customer yesterday who says, "Yeah, I want to get a .ai, we're blah blah blah, but eventually we want to be the .com." And we're proposing some different options to them, and what they realized was, okay, I love this .ai, but number one, I'm not willing to spend more than 10 or 15 grand. And maybe 25 if it was like lights out unbelievable. But I'm not even going to consider it unless there's a path to owning the .com sometime in the future if we, take off the training wheels. And there was one option that they absolutely loved, but the .com had sold. We had sold it. And they decided not to go with that .ai because they knew that there was no path for them to ever own the .com. So, all of these things are just little trinkets of knowledge that have led me to the conclusion that .ai is a flash in the pan, and it will not just fall over and crash on the beach like other domain extension trends. But there's just no reason for the value of a .ai to ever exceed that of a .com. And there is every reason to understand that every single entrepreneur and investor that backs that entrepreneur with a brain in their head is always going to have a preference for the .com, except at this very minute little moment in time that we're seeing, well, apparently in the rearview mirror. And
so hold on.
Point of this story is Escrow.com reports 25% drop in .ai domain sales.
Right now,
as well as a drop in the average price per domain of, I believe it was approximately the same.
So time out, because I think this is interesting. I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can actually read the report. But a couple of things, and I appreciate your little touchdown dance that you're doing, but I think that.
Well, I believe I'm 3 for 3.
Well, we'll see. And I'm not saying I disagree, but I know that folks like James and Andy Booth would like to talk to you about this because I know those guys.
I bet they would. You know why?
Cheerleading.
Because they're holding big bags.
Oh no! You saying they got they're bag holders? Hey, James, Andy, man. But I don't know that I would be so quick.
More love. You know what I'm
saying?
When shout out James and Andy. Sorry about that bag. You know what I'm saying?
No, hey, it's all love. It's all love. But
but they got great .com domain. You know what I'm saying? Like, did they get a little over speculative?
Hold on,
sure.
let me finish my point. So we went from 1.8 million in Q2 we went to 1.3 million in Q3, right? And obviously, if you look at this chart,
which is hilarious because like we sold more than that last week in domain names and .coms. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what escrow.com did in total. This stuff, people are listen, and here's what I'm trying to express to people. Okay, I'm not trying to do a dance on your grave. Okay, I think they're fun. I'd love to own more, but what I don't like is the mentality that I see, which is this is the next .com. This makes .com irrelevant for technology businesses because all technology businesses are going to be AI. This is a better brand than .com. And I've heard this before. You have to understand this is nothing new, okay? I'm not going to go into it now. I've gone into it at length in all other episodes. But I hope you sell your domains for billions of dollars. I hope I'm wrong and you guys crush it. But the point of this show is to try and share some of the knowledge that we've accumulated over a tremendous length of time and over an absolutely monstrous amount of domain sales to try and share with you so that you don't make mistakes of investing money you really can't afford to lose into domain names that are not your highest probability of achieving success in the domain name industry. Now, I'm not telling you don't buy .ai domain names. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm just telling you to do a little bit of critical thinking about your premise of investing into domain names, AI domain names. That's what I'm asking you to do.
Well, yeah, and I think the thing is it depends what argument you're arguing against, right? Is it that, hey, AI creates an opportunity for, a different option other than .com that's a supplement to get to,
Yeah, all those soft things, I'm all for it. Great. Oh, more opportunities. Well, great. Different type of branding. Great. I love it. You're going to be a chatbot company? Awesome. But that is, again, the 0.01 or the 0.02. It's not the majority of businesses. And so, look, that number to me says it all. I don't remember if I ever even cared or looked at that number before. But when you just said that, what was the total sales?
Yeah, it was 1.3 million.
1.3 million. 1.3 million in total quarterly sales of .ai domains. That's a nothing burger. Well, you know what I'm saying? If you as an investor, any of you, were the ones that sold 100% of all the .ai domain sales for the quarter, you had a good quarter. You made some money. I don't know what your cost was on all those domains. But let's say you made 10x on all of it. So you spent 130,000. You sold it for 1.3 million. Great. And that's not no money, but that's small money. For one individual, that would be a good amount of money. Wow, you had a good quarter. But it's like a fart in the wind. It's nothing. It's a nothing burger. Yeah. That's my point. And you don't want to go chase a nothing burger. You want to go chase the big burger. You want to chase the double quarter pounder with cheese.
With cheese. But wait a minute. So what about, so we heard about this $1.5 million .ai sale, right? And we don't know where this is accounted for in these numbers. Was this in Q2?
Wait, what are you talking about? Who sold a domain for one? What?
Matt Berry from escrow.com came out and said, hey, AI's got some things happening. We just had a sale that happened on escrow, $1.5 million. Now, if that 1.5 is in Q4, well, Q4 is about to go back up again, And then at least from a trend standpoint, you're going to see it continue to increase. And I don't know that anybody's necessarily saying that .ai.
Okay, so let's bake that outlier into this quarter. It's ooh, so you did 2.7 million and half of it was in one domain. You know what I'm saying? That outlier, I'm just not, look, I think there's going to be lots of $50,000, $25,000, $100,000 sales. Occasionally you're going to hear about somebody popping one off for 200 and everybody's going to go, wow, that one dude, he sold one for 200 and the two dudes before him sold one for 200. And so my whole portfolio is worth 200 each. And then you're going to never sell a domain. And then you're going to wake up one day and nobody's going to care. And then you're going to be stuck holding the bag.
No, I'm with you. I think it comes down to what the expectations are, right? So people who think that AI is going to replace .com are going to be in for a pretty rude awakening. I don't know that anybody who really understands the space is actually making that argument. I think it's just a question of, hey, that's
my point. The people that understand the space, for the most part, and there are exceptions because they are wild gamblers that love speculation of any form.
Shout out to the D-Gens.
Shout out to the G-Gens. We love you, baby. But the people who, and again, truly shout out to the D-Gens, because if you are informed and you still want to roll that dice and you can afford to do so, shout out. We love you. Those are the type of people we love you. We really do. I have my degenerate in certain aspects, but I try to, speak to the people who maybe don't have, because again, what is our motto? Our motto is grow the pie. So I'm trying to speak to the person who is intrigued about domain investing, and they read articles in the news about .ai being the hot new thing, and they see these sales and they think, wow, that's happening and it's happening everywhere. I want to get in. And all I'm trying to say to you is if you're buying great one-word.ai domains that make sense as a chatbot, as a, whatever keywords that are semantically potentially meaningful or just great short brands, have at it. I'm not telling you, but if you're spending 5 or 10 grand each to buy these things, and the renewal fees on these things is $100-200, you're setting yourself up for disaster. And then, you're going to look back and go, whoa, this domain thing, what a scam. And I can assure you, as the day is long, that it's not a scam. It's just that there's very few people who have the patience and the willpower and the discipline to actually understand what makes a great domain and how do you value it. And anyways, so
no, it's all good, man.
that.
Yeah, no, I'm not yawning because of you, but
So that was the first thing that popped out on me about escrow.com report, Q3 report. The next thing that popped out to me was a little more positive. It looked like overall domain sales that went through escrow.com was about down by 9% for the quarter. But that, to me, is okay. I mean, to me, I call it flat. This is a very volatile business. And so, it was basically, I forget what it was, 49 million last quarter, 41 million this quarter.
No, it was 89 million and then down to 85 million. So
okay, all right. So yeah,
100 million. We're still looking at 100 million.
I call that flat. Yeah, I call that flat, right? So more or less flat. I think we didn't have as good of a quarter in Q3 as we did Q2, and so I think that's to be expected or better than to be expected, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I think to be anywhere in that, 80 to 90, 100 million in per quarter.
Non-alarming. Yeah. I'm going to be very interested to see what happens. I think Q4 is going to be rougher than normal for Q4 this year, but we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot going on that I think is holding back investment, holding back large purchase decisions, holding back, business development, et cetera. And these are the things that drive, domain sales. What else popped out here? What else did you see?
Well, talk about outliers there, so there was a couple interesting things that I thought from the report. One that there was a hyphen domain, right? The prices of domains, including a hyphen, increased in value to over $1 million, so it's
wait, what are you talking about?
So the hyphen, it was
a hyphen domain sold for over $1 million.
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand, right? Because it's like, no, I think it's total value, right? Total transaction value. They did, let's say 220. Actually, it is exact 225,000 in Q2, but they did 1.12 million in Q3, and then I'm looking back.
Where are you? Where are you? Which part are you looking at?
Well, I'm on the actual report, so I'm on page 15. Domain names containing a hyphen. And what I think is crazy to me, and this is because we haven't spent a lot of time in this report, and I want to even historically, when it comes out, it's usually a quick glance or whatever, but they've got this historical data. And I mean, dude, they did over $6 million in hyphen domain sales back in Q4 of 2021. It shows you how crazy 2020.
That's the craziest thing I've never even looked at that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
Well, so one thing I'll say is in Germany, for example, it's the only place I'm aware of that actually almost prefers hyphen domains. They love them. They love hyphens. More hyphens, more better. It's wild.
Yeah. Again, hyphy with
like there's a very big business that I that I knew about from Dusseldorf, and I just assumed that they had their full domain name. So I went there, didn't even resolve. Right. So then I Googled it and it comes up and it's got the hyphen. So then I went and checked if the one without the hyphen is even registered. They didn't even register it, nor did anybody else. It's just they just don't care. They want the hyphen.
Dude, APIN has the hyphen, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's hating on the hyphen and APIN, man. I'm saying, all
right, so I would love to know what kind of domains are selling for $6 million.
With
2021. That was that 2021, man. People were irrational. That
I
was
know, but
peak
you go back to
irrational
look at
exuberance.
18. Look at 2018. They did over $4
That
million.
was literally, look, 2021 Q4. That was Bitcoin all-time high. That was, NFT
Mania.
ridiculousness.
Yeah.
That was stock markets. That was like, all the meme stocks.
Oh, yeah.
That was just, money print to go burr. Everybody's at home. The
$6 million
government's making
in
it
hyphen
rain.
domains. This just changing my
Everybody's
perception.
going to be a .com millionaire. That was just wild. That was just a different special time that'll never come back, or at least.
Yeah, but Q1 and Q2 of 2022, they did almost 2 million. They were at the $2 million range, and then it's kind of settled
shocking.
down.
I think the most expensive domain with a hyphen I've ever sold was outdoor-furniture.com.
Yeah.
Which I sold. I don't remember even the price. We talked about it on DomainSherpa once, I think.
Yeah. Well, and so anyway,
but it was
that jumps out to me as some pretty
25 grand or something.
And I appreciate that they provided that data because I think it's interesting as all get out. I want to go through our portfolio. I want to see what kind of hyphen domains we got and figure out like where
at one point I picked up a bunch of them. We've got some funny ones. We got like hard.hat. I always like that one for some reason. What else we have?
Yeah, hard-hat's pretty cool. I actually do like that name.
I think we got a couple good little ones, but I'll tell you what. I mean, I couldn't even tell you the last time we got an inquiry on
Well, I guess that's what I'm curious about is like if I'm seeing this kind of volume of these domains and I'm wondering where are they getting, because this is an afternick, right? This is all through.
How do I search for a hyphen?
I mean, how are they being?
Oh man, no, we got hyphen. How do you search like a particular column?
You have to click the top part above the column so that it's all highlighted, and then then you got to run through the search with the search function. But so I thought that was pretty crazy. So hyphen domains are hot. I don't know, they're hype. You know what I mean? Like that's wild to me.
Yeah, it's not working like that.
And but if anybody has any other insight on that, like hit us up, like let's tweet about it. Like, let's start a dialogue because I'd like to understand a bit more. Where is that activity taking place? Right. That tells me, is it volume? Is that how it's happening? Are these one-off big domain sales that involve a hyphen domain?
I don't know, but I wish I could search
hyphen. I'm hyphen curious.
Yeah.
I want to know. I'm an inquiring mind. So, well, we could,
because I know we've got a bunch of good ones. It doesn't matter though. I listen.
Well, that's what I mean.
I just have a hard time believing it.
I know, but the data is the data, man. That's why it's so awesome that they shared this, and now it's like, now I want to get under the hood. I have questions. We need answers. So another thing that jumps out at me too
could be something like like a 2-letter with a hyphen in it.
Maybe letter-letter.com. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. I could see something like that being that would definitely have some interesting extra value.
Because I think at some point Google even said that they
liked hyphens, right? I mean,
that they didn't like hyphens.
Oh, okay.
Because people were gaming the system. They were like getting auto-insurance-quotes.net. And then they're like, all right, now I got, for SEO. But
I got another one too.
Anyways,
yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah, so definitely more to follow. I'm curious. I want to, I'm definitely going to ask around a little bit on the hyphen piece to understand that a little bit more.
MediaOptions is the industry's leading domain broker specializing in domain acquisitions, high-value domain sales, and domain name consultation. As pioneers and thought leaders on the subject of the domain aftermarket and domain name value, plus through their clear domain acquisition service, MediaOptions offers startups and established corporations an unparalleled scope of high-value domain options, providing access to domain names and curation technologies not available elsewhere. MediaOptions believes in the power of a great domain name and is dedicated to helping you obtain yours. Call or email today to put a domain to work for you.
And then so another talking about outliers, this 4number.com situation. So this is the median price.
Oh, self.confidence. No, self-confidence.
Yeah, I thought we had self-care too. Is that another one that we
solar powered?
We're gonna put. I mean, hey, it's time to make sure.
Wedding cakes, wellness center.
Yeah, these are all great.
I mean, you know, without the hyphen, they're like.
Yeah, without the hyphen, they're really good. But I mean, you know,
no, without the hyphen, they're like 5-figure names, mostly.
With the hyphen, they're 6-figure names, I guess. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand it, Drew. I thought we
alarm systems. I don't know. I just don't know who's buying these things. Nobody's buying them from us.
Well, and that's what I want to understand, because it's like, okay, are we missing a certain, vertical somewhere or an outlet somehow? Like, where is this taking place that there's this volume, this
cure all ecosystem.
It's a great name, guys. It's available. Holler at us. Eco-systems.
Yeah. If you sold a hyphen domain for a material sum of money, we want to talk to you. We want to see. Yep, that's right.
I want to know how it happened. I want to understand, like, what's the, is there some sort of is it a geographic,
like the missing link?
Is it a geographic demographic thing that's driving it somehow? Like you said,
my dash box.
I'm saying that's it. That could be like a OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying?
Or a Dropbox clone.
Oh, I mean, like an actual legitimate business. Not that OnlyFans isn't, by the way. Shout out to everybody out there on their hustle.
I mean, listen,
making that money. Oof. I seriously.
Stop. You know what? I take it back. Rest dash stop. That domain actually gets a bunch of traffic. I have no idea why, but it gets a bunch of traffic. Probably the only one. We got Roundtable with the dash, but we also have Roundtable without the dash.
So what we'll do?
Roundtable gets a lot of inquiries. Round dash table never had an inquiry. Forgot I owned it.
I love Roundtable. I think that's a fantastic domain.
One of my favorite domains.
Yeah. But
especially
I think
since I recently traced my whole heritage on my mom's side back to like Sir Arthur and the Knights of the Round
Arthur, the Knights of the that's
yeah.
The next thing you'd be like,
your
great grandfather he pulled the sword from the stone. You know what I'm saying?
No, there's a publication. Anybody can go look this up themselves. There's a publication, and it's from a guy named James Edwin Cole, okay, who is a noble British man, and he tasked himself at the behest of his father to document the entire genealogy of the Cole family. It turns out to be one of the oldest British families, and it goes back like pre-Christ. It's there's some Knights of the Templar in there. There's
Freemasons up in there.
Yeah, we know. I mean, the Inner Temple in London is like the highest. Barristers, the highest order of barristers in England, and it's some interesting stuff.
Drew is descended from King Arthur. It's official. You know what I'm saying? That's what
I forget what it was.
Of course
some
you are,
weird
Drew.
tangential tie that was really seriously. There was like some weird, like one of them was like a knight at the round table.
Dude, I mean, you got Lancelot up in there. You got Guinevere. I remember all that stuff from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You went to school, my homie Lancelot, my girl Guinevere. We chilling. But anyway, no, hey, cool.
Oh, we got 6-pack, 6-pack. That's a good one. All right, so let's get off the hyphens. Is there anything else of note in here?
Yes, and hold on. So last piece, so we can keep it moving. We will tweet about it because I will, we'll put a tweet out that's basically going to ask people to talk about give us some sense of what your highest hyphen domain sale ever was. I'd love to get a good dialogue going on that, and obviously have a real conversation with somebody who's made some big sales with hyphen domains, because I find this to be extremely, extremely interesting, and I'd love to just have more data, more info, more intel. That'd be really cool. Now, so let's talk about the 4-number domains thing is super interesting to me too, man. I mean, so they're saying the median price of 4number.coms was $25K in Q3, right? In Q2, they had.
But again, this is an outlier. This is an outlier, right? There was one enormous sale here.
Do you know which one it was?
No.
Oh, see, that's what I'm trying to understand too. It's like,
or somebody sold a portfolio, I
don't think that's how they would have I don't think that's how they would have put this out there. And maybe some of this we can obviously reach out to Escrow and ask for clarity on some of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, it tells me that they sold maybe it was just one domain they sold in Q2 that was a 4N that they sold for $300,000. And yeah. That's pretty bad.
Well, no, it was probably way over 300,000 because that one domain sale, and it likely is one domain. It could be more. We have no idea, but it was likely one very large domain sale, and that one large domain sale is pulled the entire average up from 25,000.
Well, yeah, and this isn't the average; it's the median, right? So it could just be that they had one sale and it was 300,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it could be they had 3 sales, and that means then that would mean 300. So. That means they had 2 big sales.
You were high in statistics, weren't you?
Yeah. I'm like, yo, count the numbers, man. Do we have to define median for everybody out there? And
didn't anybody teach you not to do public math?
The mean versus median, mean versus median. Versus mode. But the median is the middle number, man. That's what I mean. So it literally means they sold one name. This is what I was saying. So I was right. But that means they either sold one name at 300,000 or they sold a name at 300,000 and then everything above, there were one or more above that and then one or more below that to get to this median, which I think it's also interesting that's what they use median as opposed to mean, because I would have thought average would have just made more sense. But then either way, it still says there was a $300,000 4N that went down, And so you have to wonder, is it like a repeating 1111.com type of thing? Is it 1234? I mean, it would have to be a pretty special 4N to sell for.
Listen, there are a lot of special numbers, right? Any repeating number is going to be relatively special, but in mathematics, there are very important formulas, number sequences. Balaji Srinivasan, shout out Balaji. His website, I can't remember what it is. It's it's a 4number.com.
Let me find it and see what's up. I got his newsletter at balajis.com. He's got a 4 number. He's got a 4N. I don't know. I'm not seeing it, but keep it moving.
Yeah, he does. I don't know. He does, though. I can't think of what it is. I don't know. Anyways, there are a lot of potential numbers. There are big dates. I know, for example, you know what? I bet this is the one. Let's see. I don't remember what it was. Rick Schwartz was tweeting at some point that he was, I forget what it was. It was one of the dates that he owns. I think he owns 1969. But he has others. He has a bunch of very important dates.coms, like years. I could be one of those that he sold. I remember he tweeted it that he was in a negotiation on it. I don't remember what it was though. But anyways, that doesn't shock me. I've actually been more surprised that those haven't taken off more.
Well, it's interesting because they're all liquid at some, at various points for various
Yeah,
prices.
yeah, and it fluctuates. So I mean,
I'm just looking at name bio real quick to see if this one popped as to which one. No, I mean most of these that you're seeing, like the most expensive ones are like 13, 20,000, or like the most. The rest of the stuff trades at anywhere from $100 to like.
Very interesting though. The overall median domain sales value is right back to where it was, just below where it was in 2021, in that third and fourth quarter of 2021, which again, as we said earlier, was really peak, pretty much all-time high for domains, I'd say.
Yeah. So what are you looking at? Are you talking about just overall? Oh, the median domain price?
Median domain price, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, we saw this enormous ramp up that looks like it, basically doubled in price from the middle of 2020 to the beginning of,
it's pretty frustrating that they combine 2 and 3 letter domains, because that's such an enormous difference. But I guess it's just because of the low volume of sell through on 2 letters.
Sure.
But that's very distorts the picture tremendously.
Yeah, well, not all data is created equal, right? So I agree. I think there's certain things that if, we really felt like it, we could push up on, reach out to Escrow and say, hey guys, this is some fantastic data here, but, a couple of things. But I agree. I thought the same exact thing. The 2 and 3 letter domain combo thing is weird.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really give you like that. Talk about skewing your data, that's really like,
yeah.
So, and that makes that one pretty irrelevant, so, but yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's pretty interesting, and like you see these spikes that they had about median price around 4 letter and 5 letter, and all that stuff was that actually was Q3 of 2022. So it was a year ago, where there was this big spike in both 4L and 5L.com domains in the median price, which I think is weird, so, not, just having a little bit of a glimpse. It's like trying to look at a room through a keyhole, and it's better than nothing, but it's, definitely would like even more information and data around some of this stuff. But, but those were the things that I thought were pretty cool. Obviously, like we talked about the .ai stuff. I mean, all the things they highlighted as their, takeaways or of note I thought were all interesting. And, those were all the things that we talked about where you had, we saw this little bit of a downturn on the AI names, the prevalence of hyphen domains as popular and valuable. And then also, I'm just more curious than anything is what was that 4N that really created the, that $300,000+ sale. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, a lot of good shit here, so shout out to escrow.com. Appreciate that. All right, man. Well, look, we said we're going to keep this short. So, I think we're kind of running up on time. Just to double back really quick, we mentioned the ICA meeting in January in Vegas. That's where they'll also be giving out the Lonnie Borck Award. So congratulations, though, Drew, on your nomination for the Lonnie Borck Award this year. So
you too.
Thank you. As I said on Twitter, I said any votes that I would get, not saying I'd get any, but if I did, I think this year would be nice for them to go to Jason Shepard, who is no longer with us, and is, it's really sad to think.
Shout out Jason Shepard.
Yeah, and shout out Jason Shepard, man. Good dude, and was such a contributor. DN Academy,
on here.
Oh yeah, he was on this show plenty of times, and so it's a shame that if he gets, I would love to see him get the award. I hate to see anybody awarded anything posthumously, and not be around to accept it and appreciate the love and get the flowers. But I do think that would be That would make sense to me. But anyway, all right, dude. Well, look, do you have anything else you want to talk? I mean, there's other stuff going on, but I don't know if you want to keep chatting. We can. If you want to just keep it moving, we can do that too. We said we're going to keep it short today, but what do you think?
Nah, let's call it.
All right. So, all right. So that's what it is, guys. So today's topic, the escrow.com, the Q3 report, with a big old shout out to a lot of folks and some overall gratitude in this Thanksgiving season. So, Drew, thank you for being here. As always, it's appreciated. The expertise, the information, the entertainment, the infotainment.
I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one.
Well, you're going to get a lot of hate because you're talking about people's bags, man. That's what happens when you talk about somebody's
People get
bags.
upset when people get upset when you attack the bag.
Well, but
look, I just sell into the wave. The wave hasn't crashed. Sell into the wave. That's my point. Don't hang on thinking there's always going to be a better offer. The one you got today is probably the best one you're ever going to have.
And I just think it's interesting. I mean, look, I think for me, it's always about there will always be alternatives to .com because people, there are multiple brands that use the same keyword there, and not everyone's budget can get them the premium one word keyword .com domain that they use or are trying to use as their brand. There will always be next best alternatives. And then when, and I think that .ai could very well be a next best alternative for a .com. I don't see it ever replacing .com. So I guess that's my thing. I'm not seeing as much of, where people are talking about AI being the next, not just like the next big thing, because I think that makes sense, just like it was a .io and, .org has value and things like that. But, I'm not seeing anybody saying it's going to replace .com unless they're like a true fanboy, like the people that were coming in during the Clubhouse wave.
If you spend a little time on Twitter, which I don't encourage, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people talking their AI bag.
Well, I think that reminds me a little bit of the naive newbies who came in during the the Clubhouse. Hey, .club domains. This is where everybody's going to make their fortune. And and we came in and we're like, hey guys, we kind of do this thing for real, and we can tell you that this isn't the new wave. And even that at the time was
we got attacked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got hated on.
Oh man, I love it though. I feed on the hate. It makes me stronger. I'm like Magneto.
No whips, no keys. That was pretty raw, man. At the time, I think a lot of people felt like, oh, you're just hating on us trying to make this money and make these moves and catch this wave when there really was, no there. But
I'm just trying to keep you from snapping your neck when that wave hits the beach.
Well, and I guess that's my point, right? So it's an expectations thing when we talk about the .ai thing, because I wanted to make this point earlier, but you were talking so much that I didn't feel like I necessarily said it appropriately. But it's really like, look, as a next best alternative to .com, I think .ai domains absolutely have value and will continue to have value for a while. But when you do look at it like volume and dollars compared to .com, it's not even close. So anybody thinking that this is going to be the next big thing, want to go waste, I don't want to say waste or, blow their life savings on .ai domains. Like, just be careful out there, y'all. That's what we're saying. Just be careful. So it's getting cold. Get colder. Anyway, all right, dude. Well, look, man, this is great. Appreciate you. Thank you so much to the audience. Like I say in every show, thank you so much for tuning in. With that, we're gonna say goodbye. But again, we're gonna talk more about hyphen domains. I want to hear more about these outliers. We're gonna keep talking about this.
Let's not talk more about hyphen domains.
I want to know about hyphen domains. You don't have to be part of the conversation. I'm gonna get to the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out what's up. Before you know it, I'm having my own.
Find the person that's selling millions of dollars of hyphen domains. I want to talk to them for sure.
So
I'm just as an ongoing discussion point. Hyphen domains ain't it.
Bag. I'm gonna end up with a big old bag of hyphen domains, man. It's going down. That's what y'all are tripping. Everybody thinking that AI is the future. No,
but so you don't understand. Hyphen domains had a wave. There was a wave. This is what people don't understand. It's like you don't understand the number of waves I've rode. I'm like a 50-year-old big wave surfer that's like, You just feel you know the wave. The moment you're on it, you know it. You know everything about that wave. But listen, there was a hyphen wave back in the day because you could set up these quick little e-commerce shops. That was another Rob Monster scam. and you set up the quick little hyphen, little e-commerce shops, right? But basically the whole premise was like, oh, you get like I don't know, kitchen-mixers.com, and then you can rank number one in Google, which actually worked for like a week until your domain got banned. And then anyways, it was another iteration of the like .net.org mini site,
the
wave and
the microsite wave.
Yeah. It's all in the same vein of just.
But I might have to add it. That might be a new AKA, Laird Hamilton. You know what I'm saying? The big wave.
Laird Hamilton.
That's it, man. You're doing that. That might be. That's another.
But
AKA.
Yeah, man. We had the .net.org e-commerce hype. Then we had the hyphenated one. Then we had. We've seen it all.
Hey, well, and that's why you're out here just trying to let people know, trying to let them know. And we appreciate it. Like we saying, talking about gratitude and appreciation on today's show in light of the upcoming holiday season and Thanksgiving and Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And let's get it. All right. Well, that's it. We're calling it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Like we say on every show, without you, there's no us. Well, you got any questions, good, bad, ugly? We're not hard to find, so just hit us up. And then otherwise, we'll see you next time here on Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Peace out, everybody.